Hey, happy Friday. Good afternoon, YouTube. Want to discuss Army Reserve Lodging in Kind for a little bit with you. Pretty hot topic at various times during while serving in the Army Reserve. So, to have an understanding where this comes from, AR 420-1 is the Army regulation that covers a little bit about lodging in kind. It's under facility management. And then there's a USARC policy out there. Basically, the rule of thumb is 50 miles. Anything over 50 miles, you get lodging in kind to and from your home. Um, you get one night, usually one night of lodging for a 2-day battle assembly or drill weekend, and then an additional night if it's a MUTA 6 or 3-day battle assembly weekend. So understand that this program is actually listed as not an entitlement, okay, but more so a benefit or incentive for recruiting. Now, that being said, if a command says, we're not going to fund it, or you're just out of luck, you may have grounds for a complaint or to push the envelope based off, is funding an overall problem across the commands, because it is a recruiting incentive. And I know on the recruiting side, retention side, they tend to use this as a selling point to get you in these units. Now, if you are an E1 through E5, please, through E6, please don't travel over 200 miles for your drill assignment. And I know there's exceptions by, low density MOSs and everything, but don't get caught up in that kind of distance to travel. You need to really make sure that you are driving distance at all cost until you're up to like nominative level, CSM, Command Sergeant Major, or taking a battalion or brigade command officer side. Then you can bite off the kind of mileage that warrants flights and things like that, because you could still be required to show up physically when lodging in kind is not funded. So again, tends to get to be a touchy topic. If they say they don't have the money, push the envelope. Say, why don't you have the money? There has to be an accountability system. It's a G1 program. G1's supposed to run it, but the funding comes from the GPC program, Government Purchase Card Program, that is usually ran and held by the 4 section, the S4, the supply channels, okay? Doesn't have to be, but that's typically how it goes. So if the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing, communication, gets muddy and tends to not be the accurate communication. It's a G1 program because that's the accountability side. That's the personnel accountability. They can tell your mileage in the database, and it's your mileage from your home of record in the database to your unit, which is why it's important to update your home of record mileage if and when you ever move. Understand, National Guard doesn't have this program. National Guard now is by state. They typically don't travel that far. But even if they do, like I traveled over 50 miles back in the day for the National Guard. It was on my own dime. Now, we could sleep in the armory. They're called armories, not facilities. We could sleep there. We didn't need to have a facility sleep plan that I'm aware of. Now, in the reserve, they tend to require a facility sleep plan. So you need to check into that if you're going to bed down inside the reserve center in the event there's no lodging in kind. Also understand, it's not a guarantee of hotel lodging, meaning that if you drill on a base or near a base, they could put you up in barracks, and that fulfills the regulatory requirement to this benefit. So understand that it's not always going to be exactly what we may want, and just realize that you still have to show up regardless. And if you're going to fight the fight, you fight the fight separately, but you still show up. You still always show up. So I just wanted to kind of touch on lodging in kind. There's some policies out there too. Always ask for the policy anyway. Anytime it's referred to, you're entitled to a copy of the lodging in kind policy for your command. Some commands will add to it, meaning they say that certain ranks can't have it. Well, that's not correct. So it's not based off your rank. There's some theories out there, but it's not based off your rank. So rank is should not be a determining factor. But some commands will write up a policy that refers to that. So I don't know if they vetted it through legal or what the case is, but that's kind of the story on lodging in kind. Then IDT travel, that goes with DTS and local vouchers. IDT travel is not a money maker program, okay? You don't get full per diem, all right? It's a reimbursement program up to $500. All right, it's not like your normal DTS where you hang out in the hotel and eat chicken soup because you're going to save that $50 you're getting a day for per diem. It's not one of those deals. Okay, it's reimbursable for receipts. Also, some commands you can use your government travel card for the flight part of the IDT travel, but some you cannot. So just make sure you're following the letter of the law on that. Government travel cards are typically not authorized for IDT weekends, for drill weekends. They are only authorized if and when you are on orders. Actually, TDY orders. Okay, so understand that. And if you're scraping for funds, you need to save money. This is where you need to take that bonus, your sign-on bonus, put it in the bank, write it off, forget about it, so that you can use it to make up for when you owe time to Uncle Sam and you're strapped for funds. All right, that's what I did with my $2,000 enlistment bonus upon joining back in December of 1990. Because, when you're coming up in the Army, you have a tendency to get screwed every now and then, right? Or something just doesn't work out right, and it's typically involving money and the delay in getting paid money that you're due. So it's nice to have a little savings account or a cushion, so to speak, tucked away for those times. Understand that travel card, when you get late fees and stuff, you're responsible for that. Yeah, you are. It doesn't matter what the reason is. If the command is wrong, they're wrong, but it trickles downhill. So understand that you're responsible for those fees until deemed otherwise. So make sure that card gets paid off. Do what you need to do to get that done, and use your command sergeant major as an open door if you need be to if you're doing everything right and something's still not sticking. Use your leadership channels and then use that sergeant major open door policy as necessary as well. If any command says to you that LIK, IDT travel are completely optional, again, get it in writing, get the policy, and make sure that the funding is truly an issue. And check with your brothers and your sisters and other commands and say, hey man, you guys lacking LIK funds, IDT travel funds? Nope, we're good. We're fat and happy. Oh, okay. Well, it's not a USART problem. So that means that that excuse doesn't fly. So something's wrong in the pipeline. They have to account for the numbers through the G1 channels and the G4 to get proper funding allocation from higher. That is a thing, proper accountability of the number of people using the program in order to get funds. That's part of the issue that we've had coming back off COVID virtual. They haven't really allocated for the funds properly by submitting accurate numbers. Make sure you fill out your LIK request form like a good soldier, okay? I used to carry around my I Love Me book, my I Love Me file box with multiple copies of stuff in them, man. Hey, Brownback, we don't have your LIK request form. Here's a Xerox copy of it, man. And you can just take that sucker and white out your dates every month and fill in the new dates for the next month. Hey, we need 120 days worth of requests now. Here you go, folks. Now make sure that you cancel if you're going to RST or something, okay? And by the way, LIK can be used on RST. That's part of the USART policy. So get that in writing as well if the command says you can't do it for RST. I'm not an RST fan. I'm just telling you the truth. But if you are going to RST and you submitted for, let's say I submitted LIK requests for March, you better let somebody know, hey, renege my RST form or renege my LIK request form for those dates. I'm not going to use it. Because if you don't do that in writing, they can come back and you can be suspended from using the program because you requested lodging, you didn't cancel it, and now you're RS10. Okay, so I wanted to clear some things up there with LIK, IDT travel we got into as well. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and comment below if you have any questions, comments, concerns to add to this, and I will try to get back with you with answers or even do another video to clarify anything I may have missed. Have a good weekend. Hua.